Let's talk about lists. HTML gives us three types, and here they are. They're enumerated lists that use things like numbers, or they could use letters or that sort of thing to mark each option in the list. There are, we also call these ordered lists, OLs, ordered lists. These are unordered lists. They use bullets. It's like bulleted lists. And then we have description lists. For instance, in this one, you notice that we have a term, and then we have some information that applies to the term. Another term, information that applies to the term, and so on. So these are our three different kinds of lists. So how do we create them? Well, and I ought to mention one thing. By default, these don't have a bold here. You'll notice that up here for the DT, I've given that a heavy font weight, and so I will point that out again as we get there. Let's go to the ordered list. So in an ordered list, we start the list with an OL tag and we end it with a close OL tag, and then each list item begins with an LI, that stands for list item tag, and ends with an end list item tag. And it's just that easy. This code right here is the code that created this list. So it automatically does the numbering for us, and otherwise everything that's in the first list item element goes as the first item, second to second, and third to third. Unordered lists are very similar. In fact, you'll notice the only difference are the tags for the list. For an ordered list, we use OL and end OL tags. For an unordered list, we use UL and end UL tags. Again, not very difficult. Now the description list is a little bit different. We have DL opens a description list, and we have close DL that closes it. We have a DT, that's for a description term, so that gives us the term part. And then we have DD, which is the description data, or description, you could think of it as description. And you can have more than one DD section following a DT if you want to. And then this here, this is our next term, and that gets Cape Buffalo. And then this DD here gives us this text right here. And again, you notice that it's a very simple open-close scheme. For a term, it's DT. To end the term, it's /DT. To start the description, it's a DD. And to close it, we close it with a DD, or a close DD tag, and so on. So again, not very difficult. Now you'll notice that these here are in bold text, and there's a reason for that. Here you can see these are DT elements, and I've styled the DT element with a heavy font weight so that it would be bolded. If I take, oh, I didn't want to do that. If I take this out, and then I save, and then I reload, you'll notice that these are not in bold text here. If I want them in bold text, then I have to use CSS to give it that. And you see how it works once I put that back again. And I could have just said bold as well. I don't think it's going to make any difference here at all. So that's how I get the bold here. I just thought it looked nicer, so I'd show you that. Now there is one more thing. You notice that this starts numbering at 1. What if I want to start my numbering somewhere else? Well, I can do that by using the start attribute. So if I say start gets 3, and I save it, you'll notice now that it starts numbering at 3. If I wanted to start 0 and reload, it starts numbering at 0. So if you want to control, by default, if I don't have this in here at all, by default, what I'm going to get is 1, 2, 3. it'll start at 1. But if I want to have it start somewhere else, then I simply use the start attribute here, and I mean I could even start at 99 if I wanted to, and it'll start wherever the start attribute tells it where to start. So there are the basics with regard to how to create lists in HTML.